Hi guys, Jason Smith here, welcome to the AskGolfNut channel. So today we are talking about a hugely inefficient swing. We are talking about a guy that came originally for a custom fit. He wanted to come in to get himself a brand new set of irons that can grow with him because he's really into golf, he loves his golf, and he wants a new set of golf clubs customed to him. It came apparent very quickly though that what he needed a little bit of tuition because his swing was possibly one of the most inefficient swings I have ever seen, and we're not talking about a swing where arms are flailing everywhere, and it was just a really inefficient move. This guy is not old, this guy is quite young, he's an ex-footballer, he is physically fit. Let's go to the simulator area now, let's go show you what he was doing and show you the crazy improvements that we made so he could be ready for his brand new set of golf clubs. So this guy was already having lessons. He was having lessons from a pro, didn't have any technology, it was the old school type of lesson. So he had no launch monitor, no nothing. And so he was just going by eye about what the gentleman was doing. And so anyway, we started coming to a custom fit. I said to him, right, start warming up. So he had his own golf club. And I always like to, when it comes to a custom fit, I always like to give them their own golf club. And I don't like capturing any kind of custom fitting information until they're fully warmed up, because if not, it's not fair on their own old equipment. Again, if they're really, really old and they want something nice and shiny and new, then okay, I'm not too fussed necessarily with taking too much information from their current set. But if they want to compare what their current set is compared to the new stuff, then yeah, always make sure they're warmed up and you're gaining information from their current set warm. But yeah, he was hitting shots. And what we found very, very quickly is that he was standing quite good to the ball, no problems there was no alignment issues or weird or wonderful kind of posture differences, but he was kind of coming across the golf ball like a lot of golfers do. He was really, really slow, and this guy was in his 30s, he's an ex-footballer, he is not, if there was going to be a competition between an arm wrestle between him and I'm not putting money on me. And so he's got plenty of ability to be able to swing and swing fast, but he was swinging at 58 miles an hour was the fastest swing he swung with his 7-iron. 58 miles an hour. So he was swinging across. He was about 6 across, I think he was, and something like 13 or 14 open, which is difficult to do. There you go. See, automatically way too quick for me. That's 69 miles an hour, 11 miles an hour faster than he. So that was 5.6 across and 12 open. Okay, so that's very, very similar to what he delivers. However, I swung a good 11 miles an hour faster than he did completely. He just didn't, his backswing was really small. It was about here because he didn't feel that he had any mobility. He couldn't feel like he could get the golf club up here or anything else like that. Now, we did a few movements, we did a couple of tests about what his mobility was, and he could easily do it. He just never been taught to actually swing back properly. And he was going across, you can see there, that was 6 across basically, 5.6 across and 12 open. He was delivering a little bit too much loft, 33 degrees, and that's exactly how much he was actually delivering. He had 33 degree lofted 7-irons. This is 34, so within 1 degree the same. However, that face is 12 open, and without boring everybody, there's different ways that you can open and close a face, or how someone sees open and close, look left and right and that lot. So when it comes to one way, the one way is by twist around the axis of the shaft. You can see there, by me open and close the face, twist around the axis of the shaft, the golf club opens and closes. But what it does do when you do that is it opens up the face, but it also adds loft. So when you twist around the axis of the shaft, it's far more loft compromising than it is face compromising. Then the other way you can do is by pushing the handle forward and back. That gives you a loft which looks exactly, when it comes to the same amount of number, it doesn't compromise loft at all whatsoever, but it does make the face look left and right, open or closed relative to, yeah, what handed you are. But he was delivering that. So he was delivering 33 degrees of loft with a massively open face. That isn't through huge amounts of that twist. That is a little bit of this twist, yes, because if he's hitting down by a certain amount, you should be within reason de-lofting by a similar amount that your angle of attack is. Won't bore you with that. But he was doing far more of this than he was with that. Yet the pro was trying to get him to flip his hands. He was seeing the golf ball start right, go right. So the pros actively want him to release his hands. The problem with that is he wasn't having an issue with face release necessarily. It wasn't the fact that he had his hands massively open. If that was the case, if he was 12 open, the loft would have been even more. So if I can try and do this, it's difficult to have same amount but massively open. So way too quick. See, there you go. That's a different one straight away. You'll see nowhere near as open as one before is only 5 degrees, but look at the loft, 38. And that was when I purely just did this. Literally just the face open through twist alone. That is less than half of the previous one, but it had more loft. So the pro was trying to get him to do this. This is why he was struggling. This is why he was basically reluctant to do it in his mind, because every single time he did, it just went low left, like massively low left. We did some swing work before we said about doing the custom fit, because his 58 miles an hour golf swing at most did not even break 100 yards. It did not even go, I think it was 95, 96 or something yards was the maximum that he did. Going, let's see if I can do 58 miles an hour, doing how he does it. Nope, still 69.9. I still can't swing slow enough. But he was that slow that, how far did that go? 97 miles. See, that's gone 97 yards, and the swing, he's 10 mile an hour faster than what he managed. So we changed his swing a little bit. We got him moving his path from going across 6 degrees to now him feeling like he's swinging massively out to the right. And when he does that, we've also got to try to get the feeling of his hands releasing, and not releasing what he has been doing like this. The feeling of the hands get that head to pass the hands. Now he's not doing that, but where before he was coming through with huge amounts of this, making the face look open, so loft delivery wasn't that compromised, but the biggest compromise was his face was massively open because his hands were dragging through. He was swinging across, dragging his hands through, face was massively open. That's why it was going that way. So we had to get him the feeling of swinging out to the right and let this head go. You can get your hands down the shaft like that and just let it pass. Just let the feeling of that pass. And what the byproduct of that was, not only did it change his path, he was feeling like he was swinging so far out to the right. In actual fact, he was only a few degrees from the inside, but the difference between going this way to going that way is extremes, and you have to push extremes. But by doing that, what he was finding is, when he was feeling this motion of doing that, his 58 miles an hour and doing that as a feeling turned into a huge increase when it comes to his speed. That was 73 miles an hour, and exaggerated, shall we call it, from the point of view of path and face, 12 from the inside, 7 closed. But that's what we were getting him to do. The feeling of doing that, it had a byproduct of massively increasing it. So his swing speed went up to 75 miles an hour. Now, from 58 miles an hour was his fastest to now 75 miles an hour. That is a huge gain. That's nearly like 30%. I'll see if I can do the calculation down there. 30% in my head improvement over his old swing. And when you looked at the difference when it comes to how far he was hitting it with his 58 miles an hour swing, and the furthest he went was 90 something miles an hour, his best swing went 145, 145 yards from 95 yards. That's 50 yards improvement. We've not just changed the swing speed, so potential loading when it comes to shaft, transition and stuff like that. So we are going to now need potentially a huge difference in bend profile in shaft between a 58 miles an hour and a 75 miles an hour, and he's still got more to come. This is the fun thing about it. He's got so much more gain still to be had, because that was his first session learning how to swing differently, that he's now potentially unlocked a huge chunk of handicap that is just done taken straight off him, because distance and handicap is correlative. It is related very, very closely. By now changing his action, by now changing his speed, he's now got to a point of where, one, he needs a completely different shaft. Two, he doesn't need the help in a super game improvement head or a high launch head to try and get the golf ball going up there, because he swings so slowly, the ball doesn't stay in the air long enough and it just hits the floor, so you get no carry. Now he's changed it to something of the feeling of that. He's now in a position that he's 50 yards longer. And so, yes, so what I basically did, I sent him away. Go practice it. Go practice it to the extreme. I want to start seeing you swinging, the feeling of swinging out this way and letting go with the hands. Don't care if you mishit them. It's fine. What we need you to do is we need to get that feeling drummed in. So to a point of when the next time you come in for a custom fit, in a couple of weeks, when you've worked really, really hard at it, we're in a position of where we can work with that. We couldn't work before with the old way of good posture, good alignment, good everything, but the swing was just not working. Again, that's probably still too fast. But that's 67 miles an hour, 6 across, 14 open, and just 96 yards carry. His best one went that far on his old swing, and to improve by 50 yards has now unlocked a potential massive gain when it comes to his dropping his handicap and enjoying his golf a lot more. So the moral to this story is properly get measured. When it comes to these things are amazing when it comes to quad. And if you understand 3D delivery, three-dimensional delivery with loft and face angles, etc., you can understand what wrist conditions. I mean, of course, there are machines now, there are devices that you can, like Hack Motion's one of them, where you can actually put them on your wrist and see exactly what wrist angles you are delivering. Now, it can be quite complicated, and yes, I would do that with your pro who understands wrist angles to understand what you're doing is right. But these things are amazing. They give you a massive advantage when it comes to coaching, of making sure you're teaching the individual to do the right thing. And when it comes to his custom fitting now, his custom fit is going to be far more enjoyable when he's gained 50 yards on his 7-iron than it was hitting his 7-iron under 100. So hope you liked the video. If you did, go on, thumbs up. YouTube likes it, so do I. Down there is the subscribe button. It's a big red triangle button. It's free, it's great for the channel. And next to that is a bell icon. That's a notification bell. If you click that one, that will let you know next time I upload another video. So I hope you're well, and we'll see you again soon.